Today we'll be looking at making an NVMe SSD hard drive using a Western Digital Blue 1 terabyte with a speed of 5,000 megabytes per second and a BENFEI M.2 NVMe hard drive enclosure which has a rated speed of 10 gigabits per second. Now obviously looking at those speeds, there's a big difference between what this is capable of and what this can do. Now it will still give you a decent performance for everyday use, but compared to say a Lacy drive I have here, this is a 2 terabyte, but you can get a 1 terabyte for about £6 to £8 in the UK, and it gives you a rated speed of around 130 to 150 megabytes per second in terms of read and write. That's compared to this, which is obviously far more in terms of speed. It has over 5,000 megabytes per second, and even with this being slower in terms of what it can do in terms of read and write, this will still give you far better performance than just a standard drive like this that you can pick up. And also it's cheaper. Both of these together cost me £65, which is a lot cheaper, or slightly cheaper than getting one of these, and give you far more performance for your buck. But it takes a little bit more work to get it to work, and that's what we're going to go through here. First thing we need to do is open up the BENFEI hard drive enclosure. Now this might be a bit fiddly, so I might try and do it off screen quickly. Okay, so now I've got that open. Let's pull it out of its box. So you get the instructions. You get a USB Type-C cable. It does have both USB-A and then has a USB Type-C there, and which is what we're going to be using going forward. Let's pull out the hard drive enclosure ourselves now. So you can see it's very slim in terms of size. Let's compare it to the Lacy drive that I have. Look at the difference. Very small, very compact, and very portable. And also it doesn't have any moving parts because it is a solid state drive. To pull it out, I think you just need to, there you go, pulls out like this. Now this is the thermal tape that goes on top of the NVMe. It puts it in place there, so that way you get the heat transfer into the metal case here to help your thermals. Let's open up the hard drive now. So this is a Western Digital Blue. Just once again, it is the SN5000 with a performance of over 5,000 megabytes per second in terms of read speeds. So you should really benefit from stuff like video editing off this hard drive. So this is the hard drive itself. You can see it's very small. I think that there, the NAND there, is the actual SSD. So let's put that into this. So all you have to do is carefully place it in there. Don't think I've done this correctly. There you go. And just move that. There you go. That's in there now. And then all you have to do is then just slide that back in there. And if you want to push out, just like that. But that's all you have to do to put it in there. But we forgot one little step here, which is once you have it successfully in there, you need to place your strip of thermal paste or thermal tape. Go both sides, don't forget, it's on both sides. So all you do is you apply this on top of the main chips. So that's on there now. That's it. What we're going to do, now we have this ready, I will go to my MacBook and do a speed test between this and the Lacy that I have here. Now this is a 2 terabyte drive and this is only 1 terabyte. However, the 1 terabyte is available, as I've said already, on Amazon, which is comparable in terms of price to building this yourself. but you'll see the difference in terms of speeds that you get when you have it on a computer. So one thing you will need to do before you can use your external NVMe SSD is format it. I've just done that now using the disk utility tool on my MacBook. I've just called it a WD 1TB drive. This is just to allow me to know which one it is when I have it plugged in. I've done it as exFAT because I'll be using it across both my MacBook and my Windows PCs. So I'm going to go use my Blackmagic Design disk speed reader to see how fast this drive is. So I'm going to go down here and select target drive, and the target drive will be this one here. So if we just check it, that was on a 5 meg, let's do it on a 1 gig file, see what the speeds are like. You can see the speed you get on a 1 gig file transfer is over 1600 megabytes per second, and the read speed of, which I thought was a bit odd, yeah, slightly slower, half the speed. Let's try that again. Cool, you can see those speeds there. 1500 on the write speed, over 1500 in that case, and about 900 megabytes on the read speed. Now let's just compare that to what you would have using the Lacy, which is a typical normal drive. Now I've plugged my Lacy external hard drive into the same Thunderbolt 3 port on my MacBook. Now let's run the test again and see what the speeds are like. You can see on the Lacy drive, you're getting about over 200 megabytes per second on the write speed, and let's see what we get on the read speed. So 130 megabytes on the read speed. Now, in terms of comparison of speeds, you can see there's a big difference between what you get with the NVMe SSD compared to a Lacy hard drive. That's a typical mechanical hard drive that I have there. So that shows the benefit of using a drive like this compared to a standard external hard drive like I have here, which is mechanical. In terms of budget, £65, and this was £68 if you were to buy a 1 terabyte version of Amazon at the same time. Thank you for watching, and tune in for a video coming soon.